Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about some early reading skills, more specifically phonological and phonemic awareness. We're going to talk about what they are, how they're related to early literacy and the importance of that, and what are some ways we teach that in the classroom. So first off, what exactly is phonological awareness or phonemic awareness? So phonological awareness is basically the foundation for learning to read. It lets kids recognize and work with spoken language. It involves rhyming, alliteration, which is where you'll have words that start with the same letter sound, listening and speaking. Children will go from noticing certain things in phonological awareness to doing them. For example, the child may start recognizing rhymes, and then they'll progress to where they can actually create rhymes themselves. The last step of phonological awareness to develop is phonemic awareness. This is the ability to separate a word into different sounds that make up that word. For example, the word cat. You would have k, a, t. They'll be able to hear the beginning sound, the middle sound, and the ending sound, as well as blends. They'll learn how to add and subtract and substitute new sounds to make different words. Now, phonological awareness develops skills kids will need to learn to read and write. Awareness of sounds is very critical in this. For example, when children learn to hear and segment words when they begin to spell. Syllable rhyme and alliteration are all strong predictors to early success with decoding when it comes to reading. Now, phonological and phonemic awareness are also related to early literacy. Early literacy is the development of skills that take a child from learning to read to reading to learn. Now, these skills are print knowledge, environmental print, concepts about print, starting from left to right, punctuation, alphabetic code, which includes alphabet knowledge, phonological and phonemic awareness, and invented spelling. There's also oral language, listening comprehension, and vocabulary. Now, studies have shown that children who master these skills have been shown more likely to finish high school and enroll in college. Language and literacy also develop together and greatly influence one another. So what a child learns from listening and speaking will greatly contribute to their ability to learn to read and write. Knowledge about print also influences a child's ability to comprehend what they read later on. So we know that all of these are important. They're early indicators and predictors of reading success later on in life. So what does this look like in a classroom? How can we teach these skills? So, for example, I've created some small groups for listening and speaking, print concepts, vocabulary, phonological awareness, and letter naming. For example, listening and speaking, I would have the kids in a small group go on a treasure hunt. I would hide something where they can't see it and give them 3-step directions on how to find that object. For example, I would say, take 2 steps to the right, take 2 steps forward, look under the red table. That way, they're learning how to listen and follow directions. This can be differentiated a number of ways. For students who have trouble with 3-step directions, you can take it down to 2 steps. Now, there will be some students that master 3-step directions. You can give them 4 or 5 steps, or you could even have them give peers directions themselves. For print concepts, I would have the students once again in a small group. I would give them a magazine and have them cut out their favorite picture in that magazine and glue it onto a piece of paper. I would then have them try to write the word underneath the picture, and when they were all finished, we would staple it together, or however you wanted to do it, to make a book. Once the book was finished, we would read the book as a small group, and we would point out the difference between the picture, the letter, and the word. It's important for children to notice that distinction between what makes a letter and what makes a word. Now, this can also be differentiated a number of ways. There may be some students who have a hard time cutting. You could have them tear it out. Students that really do not like to write or have a hard time writing could have the word written out and they could trace it. You could dictate what they say. And then you have those students who excel at writing or excel at sounding out those words, and you could even have them work on writing a sentence or adding additional words to what they've written down. A small group for vocabulary. At this age, some children have trouble with positional words. So I have a game with what we call positional bears. I have a small cardboard cutout of a cave and small little bears. And what we do is we hand the children a bear, and they will put the bear inside the cave, outside the cave, on top of the cave, beside the cave, behind the cave. Now, the differentiation for this is according to your student's skill level. Some students who have a hard time with positional words, you want to start with easy words, inside, on top, maybe under. And the students who have mastered positional words, you can work on harder words that they may not hear every day, in between, for example. For phonological awareness, we have nonsense sentences. So you would give the student a letter, such as the letter B, and as a group, you would make up a sentence. Everything begins with the letter B. Billy Bear bakes brownies. Now, the differentiation for this could be based on the group. If you have a group that needs extra support, you could provide a few of the words to start out the sentence. You could provide Billy Bear, and then have them come up with the rest of the words, or even just filling in what Billy Bear bakes. For students who have mastered this pretty much, you could let them create the entire sentence themselves. And you could even have them draw a picture afterwards of what that looks like, or even try to write some of the words. And lastly, for letter naming, we would read Eric Carle's book, ABC, and then you'll have them make letters in the Eric Carle style, which could be already pre-painted paper cut up into squares, or even tissue paper. And with this, they would glue the tissue paper or pre-cutted squares onto paper to create their own letters. To differentiate this activity, students who still are not able to create letters on their own could be given templates to glue their paper on, and students who have already mastered the skill could make the uppercase and lowercase letter. So I hope my video has helped explain a little bit of phonological and phonemic awareness. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.